Welcome back to another video from Desi ASMR. I hope you're doing great. So, a few days back, I had posted a YouTube short uh, showing the city that disappeared overnight, the tale of Dhanushkodi in Tamil Nadu, India. So, few people said that okay, they would like a normal version of that without the AI images that I've added in the short. Please do watch it if you haven't yet. So I thought of doing a longer version of the same story, a detailed version with more insights, with more information. I hope you find it relaxing and also informative. So if you look at the globe, if you look at the map or your globe, you could see it right over here in this stretch, in the tip of India, bottom tip of India, you could find the neighboring country Sri Lanka. So this place was bordered by the country Sri Lanka, and you can no longer see that in the map. If you look at a map which is before the year 1962, you will be able to find Dhanushkodi in the Indian map. I will try to put in a map for your reference. Okay, so let's begin with the tale of Dhanushkodi. Okay, so the city that disappeared overnight, the tragic story of Dhanushkodi. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine a peaceful town surrounded by the sea on three sides. Fishermen preparing their boats before sunrise, children running through sandy streets, a railway station waiting for evening train, travelers heading towards Sri Lanka. Everything seems normal. Then in a single night, nature arrives with unimaginable force. By morning, an entire town is gone. This is the story of Dhanushkodi, the Indian town that vanished from the map overnight. At the southernmost tip of Tamil Nadu lies a narrow strip of land known as Dhanushkodi. Today, it's a ghost town. Visitors who travel there see abandoned buildings, ruined churches, broken railway tracks, and endless stretch of sand. But decades ago, Dhanushkodi was alive. It was a thriving coastal settlement and an important transportation hub. Before air travel became common, many people traveling between India and Sri Lanka passed through this town. Passengers would arrive by train, boat ferries, and continue their journey across the sea. The town had schools, homes, shops, also a railway station. Life moved on very calmly and peacefully. No one imagined that the town's greatest strength, which is the connection towards the sea, it's connected by three sides by the sea. So they never thought this greatest strength would the one day become its greatest vulnerability. The region has always been prone to cyclones. The Bay of Bengal is one of the most cyclone prone areas. The Bay of Bengal lies right over here. So it's one of the most cyclone prone areas in the world. For centuries, powerful storms have been forming over these warm waters. Okay, before we continue, if you would like any changes, or if you would like how the story is being told, or if you do have any suggestions, or if you would like also images or depictions between the story or just the raw footage, you can always let me know and I can change my style. Okay, let's continue. And today is December 22, 1964. That is when the tragic event happened in the land of Dhanushkodi. So in December 1964, something extraordinary began to develop in the Bay of Bengal. Far out at sea, a tropical disturbance started gaining strength. As it moved across Bay of Bengal, it intensified rapidly. The winds grew stronger, the waves became larger. Weather forecasters began to realize this was not an ordinary storm. However, forecasting technology in 1960s were not as developed as today. What we have today is much more developed. So there were no smartphones, no emergency alerts, no satellite images available to ordinary people. Many coastal communities had little understanding that what was happening around there. And Dhanushkodi stood directly in its path. As Christmas approached, the weather became increasingly dangerous. Strong winds battered the coastline. The sea became rough. Dark clouds were all over the sky. Yet life continued. People stayed in their homes. Fishermen secured their boats. Passengers boarded trains. Some believed the storm would pass. Others had no idea how powerful it would become. Then came the night of 22nd December 1964, a night that changed everything for Dhanushkodi and the people residing there. And also the people who were traveling from Sri Lanka were victims of this horrific tragedy. A night that would change everything. One train in particular was making its way towards Dhanushkodi, known as the Pamban Dhanushkodi Express or the passenger train. It carried more than 100 passengers, family, workers, children, travelers, people with plans for the next day, people who had no idea the history was about to remember them. As the train approached Dhanushkodi, the cyclone intensified dramatically. The sea began rising. Huge waves crashed across the coastline. Winds screamed through the darkness. Visibility became almost impossible. Then the disaster struck. A massive wall of seawater surged inland. The wave overwhelmed the railway line. The train was lifted from the tracks. Carriages were swallowed by the sea. Within moments, the entire train disappeared. Almost everyone aboard lost their lives. The ocean had claimed an entire passenger train. Even today, it remains one of the most deadliest train tragedy in the history of India. Meanwhile, Dhanushkodi itself was facing unimaginable destruction. The cyclone's wind are estimated to have exceeded 250 per hour. Roofs were torn away, buildings collapsed, trees were uprooted. The sea invaded the town from multiple directions. People struggled to find shelter. Families became separated. Many residents had no chance to escape the storm surge. Flooded everything in its path. Entire neighborhood disappeared beneath the water. The sound of the wind was deafening. The darkness was complete, and throughout the night, nature continued its assault. When dawn, when dawn finally arrived, The survivors were greeted by a scene that looked almost unreal. The town they knew was gone. Buildings had been flattened, railway infrastructure completely vanished from the town, boats had been thrown away far inland, debris covered the landscape. Many roads no longer existed, countless lives had been lost. The destruction was so complete that some areas were almost unrecognizable. People searched desperately for their family members. Rescue teams faced enormous challenges. Communication systems had been destroyed. Transportation routes were damaged. The scale of tragedy became clear only gradually as days passed. News of the disaster spread across India. As reports emerged, the nation learned the extent of devastation. Thousands of people had been affected. Entire communities had been shattered. The loss of the passenger train shocked the country. The cyclone had demonstrated the terrifying power of nature. For many people, it was difficult to comprehend. How could an entire town be destroyed in a single night? How could a train simply disappear? Yet the evidence was impossible to ignore. Dhanushkodi had become a symbol of nature's destructive force. So, in the months that followed, authorities faced an important decision. Should Dhanushkodi be rebuilt back to its former state, just how it was a peaceful, calm town in the strip of Tamil Nadu? Should it be rebuilt? Or was it the location simply too dangerous? After evaluating the damage, the government declared the town unfit for habitation. The risks were considered too great. Residents were encouraged to relocate elsewhere. Public services were not fully restored. Over time, what remained of the town was gradually abandoned. Nature reclaimed the area. The sea and the sand moved into spaces once occupied by homes and business. And slowly, Dhanushkodi transformed from a living town to a ghost town. Today, visitors travel to Dhanushkodi for a very different reason. Can you guess what it could be? They come here not to catch ferries or trains. They come to witness the history. The remains of buildings still stand against the coastal winds. Fragments of churches or homes or the old school, the old railway station exists only in the memory. The landscape feels frozen in time. Many visitors who visit Dhanushkodi today describe a strange feeling while walking through the ruins. There is beauty, but there is also sadness. Every broken wall tells a story. Every abandoned structure reminds us of the lives once lived here. Adding another layer of mystery in Dhanushkodi's connection to ancient mythology. So, according to Hindu tradition, the area is associated with the Ramayana. Some believe this region is connected to legendary bridge built by Lord Rama's army to reach Lanka. As I told earlier, it's a neighboring country, Sri Lanka. So some believe that The legendary bridge is built by the road drama to reach the Lanka. This connection attracts pilgrims from around the world. As a result, Dhanushkodi exists at the intersection of history, tragedy, faith, and legend. It is both a real place and a place of stories, a destination where mythology and modern history seem to meet. So perhaps the most haunting aspect of Dhanushkodi is how everything quickly changed. One day people were living peacefully their ordinary lives in Dhanushkodi. The next day their town was gone, completely vanished. It reminds us how fragile human settlements can be. We build homes, we create communities, we construct railways and roads. We believe these things will last forever, but nature follows its own rules. Sometimes it takes only a few hours to erase what took generations to build. Today, tourists stand on the same coastline and watch the waves. The sea appears calm, the breeze feels gentle. It is difficult to imagine the violence that occurred there in 1964. Yet beneath that peaceful surface lies one of India's most unforgettable tragedies. A town erased overnight, a train lost to the sea, thousands of lives changed forever, and a ghost town that still stands as a reminder of the power of nature. The next time you see a photograph of Dhanushkodi ruins, remember this. Those ruins are not merely abandoned buildings. They are final pages of a story that began with a thriving town and ended with a catastrophic night. A night, a night that's changed history forever. I hope you found this little piece of information about Dhanushkodi uh, interesting and the storytelling was hopefully relaxing for you. So I'm going to come up with a 100 stories in 100 days. I'm thinking of doing that. I'm not sure how well I will be able to do that. It depends on the support that I receive from you. We'll come up with different topics, but these are not really stories, these are factual things, and these are facts. I'm just making up the script in a storytelling mode of way, and there might be discrepancies in what I'm telling. If you find the facts that I've revealed over here are not 100% true, or you find any discrepancy in the facts that I have told here, you could definitely correct me. Mistakes do happen. So please comment down below how was the experience of this ASMR story, and do let me know the topics you would like to explore or hear about. I can definitely study on that and create a relaxing story experience for you. Thanks for watching, and do let me know your thoughts and feedback on the comment section. Thank you and good night.